That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Do you think I'm going to accept that? Do you think that is acceptable for Doncaster Rovers Football Club? Do you think that performance deserves any kind of credit? I'm not going to slag off the players. I'm not going to do that. But do you think that that performance was acceptable in the eyes of Doncaster Rovers Football Club? That was not scoreline-wise, but result-wise, in terms of what it meant for our season, that was probably one of the worst games this season. First off, we didn't dominate the ball. Well, we did dominate the ball, but we had the clinical edge of a snail. And we scored against the run of play. Then Bristol Rovers equalised through a combination of Richards and Okunabiri making the mistake. And then the second half, we collapsed like a tower of dominoes. Just absolutely collapsed. And the subs. Coppinger comes off. Richards coming off, I agree with. But Coppinger coming off for Simoes, who hasn't done anything for 6 months. No disrespect to the guy, because I'm sure he's a wonderful guy and a great player at times. But he's not showed up for the last few months at this club. And you think he's going to change anything at this rate? On his current form, you think he's going to change anything? It's just... This week's been poor for me as well. But it doesn't get any easier, does it? It really doesn't get any easier. We couldn't score in a Wild West shooting gallery. We had the clinicalness of a sniper rifle with its cap on, so you can't see anything. Yeah, man, I'm about to break down on camera. I'm about to just break down. Because what's going on? What is going on at my club? And again, I've said it in the previous review from the Charlton match. I'll say it again. I look at the social media reaction from fans. The cries are Butler out, get the manager out, get someone new in. And I sit there, and I've actually replied to some fans. And I sit there and I say, well, you can say Butler out if you want to. If you politely disagree with the people that want Butler to stay, if you politely disagree with their opinions, I respect that. When you're slagging off the players and being vile human beings, I don't associate with that. But if you're respectful, I'm going to reply in a respectful way. If you want Butler out, one, who realistically could come in and sort out this mess? Secondly, why are you blaming Butler, with all due respect, why blame Butler when it's the players that are not turning up? Why blame the manager when it's the players? There's a couple of things I don't get from Butler. Why bring Simoes on? Why start Taylor Richards? Why not start John Bostock? And goalkeeping as well. Why is Lewis Jones not in goal? Why is Balku in the nets? And I get he made some good saves. He had that collision with Bogle in the second half. Thank God he was okay to continue. But there was no need for it. There was no need to change the goalkeeper. Unless Jones had an injury we didn't know about. And again, the right back position. Halliday. Is he injured? Is he out? We're going to get an explanation for that. And why? Where's Charlie Seaman? I spoke to him months ago, and he said he was very excited to play for this football club. Why isn't Charlie Seaman in this squad? Why are we playing? Why are we knocking a young kid's confidence in Brandon Hornton and playing him at right back? So essentially, we've set up with a goalkeeper that hasn't done anything to deserve a start in the team, but he did well today. Fair play to him. The goals weren't his fault. Balcom did well, but before the game started, he didn't deserve to start the game. So we're playing a goalkeeper that didn't do anything to start the game. We're playing a left back at right back instead of using an actual right back that has not played in the squad this season. We're playing Richards in the starting lineup, who didn't deserve to start. We've dropped Bostock, who deserves to start. He didn't deserve to be on the bench. We've put one up front again. We're playing Okunabiri on the wing. We're playing Lakilo on the wing. We're not going two up front. It's like there's many different mistakes. And you know what? Butler does have to get blamed for not picking certain people and not playing a certain way. We were since the Charlton result, we've been, in fact, no, not even just since the Charlton result, we've been crying out for the last 2 or 3 games. Play two up front. Play two up front. Matt Mills said it on Sky Sports against Charlton. We're crying out for a striker to partner up with Bogle with two up front. We're crying out for it. And we still play one up front. Bogle looked lost. Bogle looked lost today. And part of that comes down to the tactics. Why aren't we playing two up front? Is this part of Butler learning on the job? Is this what he's got to work with? I don't know. I really don't know anymore. So I suppose I've got to get my golden notebook and do my player ratings. Only one player, by the way, and this is a hint. Only one player gets a 6 today. Everyone else gets below a 6. So that might give you a hint as to who. The only bright spark, and I'll tell you when I get to that name, you'll know who it is. So Balcom, I'm going to give him a 5. He wasn't at fault for anything today, but he still conceded 2 goals, even if it wasn't his fault. So he still doesn't get anything above a 6. James, 5, just average. John, 5, average. Anderson, 5, average. Horton, 5, average. Square pegs, round holes. Not his fault. His tactics for that one. Midfield, Smith, 5. Again, just nothing much. Richards, I'm tempted to give him a 0. And I've never given anyone a 0, but I'm going to be generous here and say 2. He gets a 2. Because Richards was involved with Okunabiri for the mistake for the first Bristol Rovers goal. And then, instead of letting Horton take the free kick long, he decided to take the free kick short. And Bristol Rovers split the defence. Mistake comes from that. Second goal from Luke McCormick, who, by the way, was their star man today. Well done to Bristol Rovers. Well done to Luke McCormick. But Taylor Richards was half at fault for the first goal and was at fault for the second goal. Yes, the defence shouldn't have been split, but Richards made the mistake for the second goal and was part of the mistake for the first goal. Richards cannot play on Saturday against Wigan. He cannot play. Because once again, he's involved in both goals that we concede, and he strolls around the pitch like he doesn't care. I want players that can fight for this badge. The scarf that I'm wearing, Rovers badge. Mwah, Rovers badge. Fight for it with every last breath. And the players on that pitch, they didn't look like they couldn't be bothered to play for the badge today. They did not look like they didn't want to play an ounce of minutes on the pitch for that badge. And Taylor Richards is one of them. He is one of a group of players who do not look like they do not care for the badge of this shirt. 2. 2 out of 10 for Taylor Richards. James Coppinger, 6. He's the only player that gets a 6 today. He was our man of the match. Our man of the match. The only creative spark. And we take him off for Simoes, who can't play football at the minute. Coppinger's our only bright spark, and that's embarrassing. That Coppinger's our only bright spark. Coppinger's the only person on that pitch that deserves to stay on next season at the minute. He's one of only 5 or 6 players that deserves to stay at this football club. Because Coppinger fights for the badge. He fights for it. And if he didn't sign on for another season, next season, I wouldn't even blame him. I think he will do because he cares too much about the fans. He wants to do this for the fan base. But if it was for anyone else, he wouldn't do it because he cares too much. And he wouldn't want to be involved in a free-falling situation. He don't want to be involved with that. If he stays next season, if he does one more year, it's because of the man management of Andy Butler and doing it for the fans. Not for the club, but for the fans. But apart from that, why would he want to stay another year and help out this free-fall situation? Lakilo, 4. Awful. Absolutely awful. Nothing more to say about that. For Jiri Okunabiri, 5, and that's being generous. Could be a 4, maybe even a 3. Get him up front with Bogle. Don't leave him up front on his own because Wigan will tear us apart. Bogle, 3. Bogle, 3. It was like that Disney musical, Into the Woods. Got lost. Went down roads that lead to nowhere. Alice in Wonderland. Bogle in Wonderland. Well, if Bogle's in Wonderland, then today was our unbirthday party because we don't feel like celebrating. Substitutions. Bostock, 5. Gomez, 5. Greaves, 5. And Samoa's 4. Pathetic. Just absolutely pathetic. Nothing in that second half. No fight. No character. No leadership. Nothing. So what do we need to do against Wigan Athletic? We win. And we do it all across this club. Now, I see a lot of fans saying Butler out. It's getting hard. It's getting so hard to keep defending Butler as the manager. It's getting harder and harder every week. He still needs the end of this season. I was speaking with some football fans from other clubs as well, and they say, stick with him to the end of the season, but then you need to go out in the summer and look for a new manager. And they say if you appoint Butler as permanent manager next season, they don't know what's going to happen to Doncaster Rovers next season. And that's them. That's rival fans saying that. They're looking at us as a comedy club right now. And that's not what we are. I live, I breathe, and I die for this badge. But the players aren't showing me that. The players don't care. The players aren't showing me that they would die for this badge. There's actual football clubs out there, like Man United, for example, where people have died for that badge. They've given their lives to that football club. Football meant something to them. It means something to them. Even as their spirit lives on forever, their club means something to them. In flesh and in spirit, for fans, for players, for former managers, coaches, former chairmen. It means something to them. Today, it was like the badge didn't mean anything to most of those players, nearly all of those players. Coppinger's one of a few players that deserve some praise today. It's just, I don't know what we're going to go and do, man. We need to beat Wigan, and stay tuned for that preview on Friday. But yeah, I don't know, man. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm Forever Football DRFC. Keep living the Rovers life, and that, my friends, is full time. Rovers till I die. Absolutely shambolic. Absolutely shambolic.